Hello people, it's Gavin here from Hollow Ground Productions.
Would you subscribe?
And today we're going to be looking at the organic house of the label All Day I Dream by Burridge. Let's take a look at the reference track. You will need a warm, boomy kick. Your snare should have multiple layers, at least 3. Lots of Foley percussion for texture. At least 2 bongo layers. A syncopated bass line. Shakers instead of hi-hats, always shakers. A nice analog sounding synth arp. And some warm ethereal pads. And some ethnic world instrument solo. But first, I'm going to be lazy and steal the kick from my Ben Boomer sample pack. And then I'm going to layer that up with the top end from another kick, which I'm stealing directly from one of Lee Burridge's tracks because I'm a thief. Then we need a sub kick hitting on the off beat and roll off the lows. The snare will consist of 2 organic Foley layers and 1 real snare. This is me searching through some random Foley sounds to find some hits I like. And then this snare and all 3 of them together sound like this. This is the bedrock of the Burridge sound. Throw a few sandy... don't forget to subscribe. Throw a few sandy shakers into drum rack and make sure they hit on the offbeat. Layer that with a shaker loop. Transpose it very high with very tight transients and use grain delay to spread it. You'll need to throw in a riser sample and a crash and glue them both down. Throw in a nice textured bongo loop. And then throw a selection of other secondary bongo loops into drum rack and have them play at random times and run through the delay. It gives it the illusion of them really being played. So all together, to tighten things up, put them all into a group, and on the group bus put a glue compressor and a little bit of saturation. This is a Foley sample of a door unlocking. Throw it in Splice and Simpler and turn it into a drum rack. A second Foley layer with grain delay, and together they sound like this. Very textured. If you're looking for the personal treatment or one-on-one tuition, you should get on to me at this email immediately. I pride myself on being able to cover almost any sound you wish. Where were we? Oh yeah, that's right. Let's move on to the Ableton stock wavetable. Draw out 16th notes and then carve it out. Do-do, do-do. Square wave, slightly warped. Use the envelope setting to add a bit of pluck. Beef it up using drum bus. The notes go from hitting in D to hitting down in G. You don't even need to sidechain compress it because the notes never hit at the same time as the kick. So now let's do the... I'm going to use Ableton analog stock square wave. I'm going to draw out the melody. Give it a sense of pluck by pulling down the filter, adding some envelope, and now pulling back the filter, so now you get a nice pluck. Add flanger warm, add a second flanger, add saturation to thicken it, add drum bus to thicken it even more, add more chorus to it, echo to widen it out, compress it to the kick, roll off the lows, and there you go, magic. So now it's time to move on to the wavetable. La la la. La la la. Beautiful. Use Atmos Pad, which is a preset of wavetable. Use EQ8 to sharply bring down the mids. Throw on an auto filter, which we can play around with later to open it up. Run it through a nice hybrid reverb. You can use Shimmer to give the pad that magical octave up quality. Use the multiband dynamics to compress the mids only, then sidechain it to the kick, roll off the mids even more, and you have a beautiful pad. Now I need to add the stuff. I've decided on a beautiful erhu solo. It's a Chinese violin. It happens to be in the same key, and I glue it down using glue. And I also found a sample of a bamboo flute. Using EQ to making sure that you're bringing down those really uncomfortable mids, and using glue to, glue the sound down. Before I show the arrangement, of course, go on to Bandcamp because, the samples are there and you can listen to them and buy them and whatever. Anyway, let's have a listen to the arrangement. And there you go, you are now Lee Burridge Mark II and ready for your first circle gig. So I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. It's been a long time coming. As usual, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time.